Waters from as far as the Canadian Rockies have reached the narrow channel of the Columbia River at Cascade Locks. Its use now is primarily for fishing here by tribal Native Americans, but this narrow waterway, which was once a key step to opening shipping traffic from 1896 to 1938, was made obsolete with the opening of Bonneville Dam, which eliminated the lock with the rising water level. The steel Bridge of the Gods takes advantage of the narrow shores, linking Oregon and Washington. The bridge was completed in 1926. Something else brought closer together are the Portland sub of the Union Pacific and the Fallbridge sub of the Burlington Northern Santa Fe. On this day, before traffic can get going again, a maintenance of way crew needs to clear up. Now between switches, the gang foreman has just given up his track and time, which is his authority to occupy main track to do work. As the Omaha dispatcher starts working his magic, Amtrak's Empire Builder skirts the waters in Washington en route to Portland. Soon we will look into the surprising reason for the narrow passage of this location of the river. But first, a westbound intermodal is almost here. As the maintenance of way equipment come into view, the engineer alerts them to his presence with a long and then a short horn blast. The equipment operators respond in kind. Then, the rules state the engineer must give 2 short horn blasts as he's approaching and passing men and equipment, until the engine is past their location. The second locomotive also has an example of some of the changes UP has made to the paint scheme. Let me know what you think of it. All I have to say is, at least it's clean. The train this dispatcher has now cleared through is immense. It is a North Platte to Seattle stack train, with 203 miles to go till it gets to Seattle. This train is 2 3/4 of a mile long and has 409 containers in its well cars. Being essentially 2 long trains put together, it has 2 DPUs mid-train. In contrast, DPU 7008 is not an example of a new paint scheme. With traffic slow and the next train still barely out of Hinkle, the track gang will be free to resume work, proceeding eastward. On the Washington side, it doesn't take long for the sound of growling engines to reverberate across the waters. The beautiful mountain scene above is actually the reason for Cascade Lock's narrow passage here. The bare rock cliffs tell a story, and it's a dramatic one at that. The pyramid-like rock above is called Table Mountain, and the area to the east is named Greenleaf Basin. About 800 years ago, around 1200 AD, this entire structure gave way in a tremendous landslide that can be seen when looking at topographical images. The outpouring of materials flowed down, blocking the Columbia River, backing it up for over 100 miles before the water breached the natural dam, carving south through this narrow gateway. And this BNSF manifest train is currently skirting the south edge of what remains of that flow. Having tamed the Columbia River and enjoying our technology, it's easy to forget how truly we are at the mercy of nature, which at any time can take it all away. But the railroad is, at least, protecting what it can, sending out this gang to maintain its right-of-way so that trains can pass safely through another day. And this day certainly couldn't have been more beautiful. The Columbia River Gorge is a study of contrasts. Here, verdant Cascade Locks enjoys plentiful rainfall, being on the western portion of the state. Moisture from the Pacific Ocean butts up against the Cascades, which act as a barrier and keep the eastern portion in what we call a rain shadow. The result is an arid landscape with no bushes or trees, and later in the day I spend plenty of time trackside there. The very next day, I'm back here with my kids enjoying a day at the water, but Mother Nature showed its other side. Even so, we made the best of it, and even caught a manifest heading east, an MRVHK. The slow trains make me think that there is a temporary speed restriction in place here, especially after I saw the maintenance of way working the other day. This Roseville to Hinkle manifest has 133 miles before it reaches its final terminal. The train is adding its own thunder to the situation as the storm draws nearer to Cascade Locks. I also find it fitting that the small island next to the old locks is called Thunder Island. Seeing the train fade into the distance, I'm glad the rain held off until now. 3 days later, the only problem is the wind, but otherwise, clear, beautiful skies. We're a mile east at Herman Creek Road at Government Cove Peninsula. This Portland to Ogden, Utah manifest has 811 miles to go till it gets to its destination. Thanks for coming along. We'll see you again soon. This is PRP signing off.